God of grace and glory, to this worried world you reveal your presence in radiant glory and gentle whispers, on mountain tops and in shadowed valleys, in classrooms and hospital beds, in homes and churches, in the quiet of nature and on busy streets. Yours is the presence that pushes past our fear to calm us. Yours is the love that transforms our doubt with reassurance. We come to dwell in your goodness and offer you the praise you deserve. Amen. There are times in our lives when we look around and wonder, is this all there is? Sometimes it's just a passing question. Other times it's for a season. We look at our life, our circumstances, and we want more. There is a restlessness, a searching and longing for something else. And we think that if we change our circumstances, this longing and restlessness will go away. We get a new job, a new car, a new relationship, and maybe we take up a new hobby, go on a trip, or work extra hours, but not much changes. It's not about the circumstances of life, it's about us. The restless searching, the longing for more, the desire for meaning are not, however, usually answered by changed circumstances. We do not need to see new things. We need to see the same old things with new eyes. We do not need to hear a different voice. We need to listen to the same old voice with different ears. We do not need to escape the circumstances of our life. We need to be more fully present to those circumstances. When this happens, life is no longer lived at the surface. These are the transfigured moments, moments when the picture of your life becomes a window into a new world, and we come face to face with the glory of God. Most of us, I think, see God in the circumstances of life. We want God to show up, be present, and do something. This is the God who does. This is the God described in Mark's Gospel up to the point of today's reading. We might think about this as the first part of the spiritual journey. It is the journey of discovering God in the circumstances. This is what the disciples have been doing. They have seen Jesus cast out demons, heal Peter's mother-in-law, cure the sick of Capernaum. He cleansed the leper and made a withered hand new and strong. The blind see and thousands are fed. At some point, we must, however, begin to discover the God who is beyond the circumstances. This is the God who is. This is the second part of the spiritual journey. Jesus leads Peter, James, and John up the mountain to discover the God who is beyond circumstances. Here, their pictures of life's circumstances will become windows by which they move into the depths of God's life, God's light, and God's love. There on the mountain, they saw Jesus transfigured before them, and his clothes became dazzling white, such as no one on earth could bleach them. The cloud overshadowed them, and the Father's voice spoke of his beloved Son. Peter wants to build dwelling places. He wants to frame Jesus, Elijah, and Moses. It is good for us to be here, he says. He wants to preserve it. He wants to take a picture. Pictures, however, are static. On the Mount of Transfiguration, our pictures of life's circumstances become windows through which we step into a new world, a new way of seeing, a new way of hearing, and a new way of being. That's what happened to Peter, James, and John. Jesus did not suddenly light up and become something he was not. No, their eyes were healed and opened, so they could see Jesus as he had always been. The voice in the cloud was not new. Their ears were opened, and they heard the voice that has never ceased speaking from the beginning. The Transfiguration is as much about them as it is about Jesus. Whenever our picture of life's circumstances becomes a window into a new life, we stand in a transfigured moment. Circumstances haven't changed. We have changed. And that seems to change everything. Those transfigured moments are all around us. Every one of us could tell a story about stepping back from the picture of our life, seeing with new eyes, listening with different ears, and discovering a window that opened into another world and another way of being. I remember my conversations with a married couple who tried to pick up the pieces of the relationship after an affair. I remember the pain and tears, the guilt and shame. I had no hope that the relationship could be saved. But in the months that followed, the darkness slowly gave way to light. The chains fell off and forgiveness began to grow. The picture of their struggle and their commitment to each other became an open window through which they stepped into a new way of being. I remember when my children were born. I recall the overwhelming feeling of amazement and wonder the first time I held them in my arms. The experience became a window through which I stepped, and I was forever changed. We often want to go back to those transfigured moments. We are tempted to build dwelling places for those moments. Booths, dwelling places, will only keep us in the past. To the extent we cling to the past, we close ourselves to the future God offers us. So Jesus, Peter, James, and John came back down the mountain. They could not stay there, but neither did they leave the mountain. They took it with them. It is what would carry them through the passion and crucifixion to their resurrection. Transfigured moments change us, sustain us, prepare us, encourage us, and guide us into the future, regardless of the circumstances we face. They show us who we are. We are the transfigured people of God. Open your eyes and see a transfigured world. Open your ears and hear the transfiguring voice. Open your heart and become a transfigured life. Every picture of life is an open window that says, no, this is not all there is. Amen.